TJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live. It is Monday, November the 4th, 10:30 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. We're going to get into it, guys. It is a little bit volatile out there. We've got, an election tomorrow to determine who the next president of the United States is going to be. So, I guess you could say it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. I think at the end of the day, we're going to be fine regardless of who wins. But it does help shape the trajectory of the country. So it's kind of a big deal depending on what side of the fence that you're on. I'm not a super political person. My faith is in God. I think that whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. It's all preordained at the end of the day. Those are just my beliefs. But I've never been the type of person to impose my beliefs on anyone else. So we all have to make our bed and we all got to lie in it, right? At the end of the day, I pray that whoever wins, whichever one of these two candidates wins, I know that they have a tough job. I am a very logical human being. I know that they have a very hard job. It is not one that I would like to do, especially not for the peanuts that they get paid to do it. So I just hope that they have the right people around them to keep us out of a major world war or anything like that. At the end of the day, if we ain't breathing, it don't matter. You know what I mean? Think about that. Like, let's make sure that they can do that. You get hung up on your abortion issues, you get hung up on your firearm issues and all that other stuff. I think that all works itself out. My big thing is I hope that the president, whomever it is, if it's Kamala or if it's Trump, let's just stay out of a world war. I think it's a pretty low bar if you think about it. It's a pretty low bar. We'll figure it out. Hopefully we can get the border situation kind of under control. Hopefully inflation doesn't go all crazy again. And I think we're okay. We're a resilient bunch. So yeah, people on the other side of the aisle, just be kind, man. They don't have to see the world the way that you see it. God made us different on purpose, guys. God made us different on purpose. Anyway, let's go into the quote of the day. So let me see if I can find it here for you guys. And I've got a cool little quote here, and it is called "The Mediocre Teacher Tells. The good teacher explains. The superior teacher demonstrates. The great teacher inspires." William Arthur Ward. I'm hoping to become, because I feel like I'm kind of like a mediocre teacher right now. So I'm hoping to graduate to good teacher, eventually to superior teacher. While I do these seminars for you guys, hopefully 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. And then eventually I want to inspire you guys to take the bull by the horn, treat this like your own business, and go out there and have some pretty awesome results. That is my goal, whenever I put on these seminars. They're not for me. They really, truly are for you guys. So let me update here at the 3:30 mark. I gave you all the quote of the day. Quote of the day. So now let's get into the portfolio. See what's going on with the portfolio. But first, I want to just get I saw it or I didn't see it. How many people in the chat saw the seminar this Saturday? So we got 109 people that have seen the link on X. We got 40 people rocking with me live. Appreciate each and every one of you guys on YouTube. So just give me I caught the seminar. I didn't catch the seminar, so I can kind of like see where we're at with that whole deal. And then I'll give some shout outs here to Bachata. What's going on Midwest? What's going on Zavan? Braden, what's going on? Jill O, appreciate you. What's going on Midwest? Braden Coons, I got a Tesla call. Slacking off on performance reviews to catch a live, right on. Mars, absolutely agree. Let's keep us out of World War III and any wars for that matter. Absolutely. TJ, quick question. I have a backstop trade on SoFi for March 21st. That's already at 78%. Should I close it? Do you have anywhere else that you want to put that money? Or is that a cash secured put, or is it a margin secured put, if you will? All of those things come into play because SoFi at $8 is an absolute no-brainer. I think it's going to print. I think you got an easy 22% right there. But if the maths, you have somewhere else that you want to put that money and you're going to get a lot more premium than what's just left over on the contract. And you're also play with the taxable implications because you know that you're creating a taxable event the minute that you close out that cash secured put. You do all of that math, it all checks out, then close it. If not, wait until January, then those taxes are going to be kicked out for the following year. I just gave y'all a sneak peek into seminar number 2. Now we're going to really get y'all into the meats and potatoes, guys. Like, this was intentional. Some people feel like I was a little light on the information for cash secured puts, cover calls, rolling, which is the meat and potatoes of the wheel strategy. That was intentional because I want people to have a real solid foundation before we build their wheelhouse. So seminar number 2 coming at you in the next 1 to 3 weeks. Once I get the slides together, it's going to be probably about 20 slides at the most. And I'm going to really get into all the scenarios for a cash secured put, the good, the bad, the ugly. And we're going to go through a bunch of scenarios so we can get the drill, like drill it down. So it becomes second nature to you because now you have all of the knowledge. Okay, cool. How do you apply the knowledge? Like, let's see those rules in action, those guidelines in action. So that is what's going to go on with the next seminars is all things cash secured puts, cover calls, and rolling, but the application of, the 25, 25, 50, the rule of 500, the rule of 25%, all of those things in action. And then I'm going to go a lot heavier into backstop trades and poor man cover calls. So like the real meat and potatoes, because this is kind of like I wanted y'all to go to the restaurant and it was kind of like a little test out the food, see if you like it. Okay, cool. Well, we lied to y'all. Here's the real full course meal that we have set up for you guys, but we don't want to give it to y'all in the beginning because you're not ready. You're not ready. You need to decide whether or not you want to really treat this as a business, because I'm not going to show you how to wheel as a business if this is just a hobby for you. You have no reason to watch part 2. But if you're serious and you want to get to the point to where you're making 6 figures a year, then part 2 is all about you. So I talked to the beginners for 3 hours. Now I'm going to talk to the intermediate, more advanced people in part 2. And then part 3 is going to be a live Q&A. I would just literally go on and it's going to be 2 to 3 hours and just ask me any questions so I can fill in any holes. And after part 1, part 2, and part 3, guys, you should have it. You should have the foundation that you need to have and run a very successful wheeling business, in my estimation. So that's what's going on with that, man. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I know that it was probably hard because 3 minutes of hearing me ramble and shit couldn't have been easy. So anyway, appreciate you guys for that. So now let's get into the portfolio update. So it's going to be about the 9-minute mark. I apologize. I just got to make sure that I stay on top of these little deals here. So what's going on with the portfolio? It started off really crappy and it's kind of working its way up and now it's working its way down. And that's just a lot of chop. That's kind of what we're expecting. So let's get into business. We got an $850,000 cash secured put on Riot. What's going on with Riot? Riot's at 904. Liking our chances. We're down quite a bit today because Riot was at like 939 whenever we closed on Friday. It was like in the 940 range. So it came all the way down to like 875 or something like that. So that is the delta, right? The delta was like at 38 or so when that was happening. So that is what we were experiencing there. So for those of y'all should already know cash secured put is you're putting up the money up front for agreeing to buy these shares at a discount. And they pay you money for that via premium. So Riot's either going to be above $8.50 this coming Friday, or it's going to be below $8.50 on Friday. If I do nothing with this contract, it's either going to expire in the money or out of the money or at the money. There's nothing else. I believe that it's going to expire out of the money. And according to this delta, there is about a 68% chance, 67% chance that what I'm telling you is accurate. There's a 33% chance that says, hey, you're about to own another $850,000 worth of Riot. You better hope and pray that this thing isn't trading at $5 because you're going to totally overpay for those shares. Those are the gimmies and the gotchas. Don't go crying home to mom if it drops to $5 because you entered into this knowingly because you were so excited about the $26,500 they were paying you up front. Those are the mindsets. Those are the mindsets. Let me give you a little Wheeler Seminar number 2 sneak peek. You got to know what the plan is on the front end. This isn't, I'm going to sell the cash secured put, collect all the money, and then I'll figure it out based on the price action. No, have some predetermined moves that you want to make. If it goes to 855 and it's Thursday, I'm still in this trade. If it's Thursday, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to let it play out and I'm going to milk all the theta. That's already predetermined. It's also predetermined that if Riot somehow shoots up to like 920, 930, 940 sometime tomorrow, and I look up and I'm at like 50% profit, there's no reason mathematically to leave the trade on. So I know that I'm going to close. If this shit tanks to like 830, 820, that's where I have a big decision to make because my break even is 824. So if it breaches that break even, and I feel like everything's really, really weak on the chart, I think that I could roll this thing out a couple of weeks for a credit, go from 850 to 8, and still have a realistic chance of taking ownership of those shares. That's what I'm going to choose to do. But I feel like if it's going to hover around 840, 850, I may just let it play out and it either expires in the money or out of the money because then I want to take ownership of those shares because I feel like I'll make a lot more money taking ownership and then selling cover calls at $9. I think that premium is going to be a lot more than the premium that I'll get with rolling. Plus now I'm qualified for some capital appreciation because I have some more information. So whenever your strike price starts getting challenged, you want to go to the information. You want to go to the information. So what am I talking about here? Let me go to my email. And Riot sent me an email this morning because I'm on some sort of a deal here where they send me stuff. Like announcements and whatnot. Like I'm on a list that I put myself on. Anybody can put themselves on the list. Just go to the investor relations page. So this is what I know that I didn't know whenever I put on the cash secured put. So now I'm feeling even more bullish to the point where I'm thinking about putting on the cap. So let's put on the cap. So it says here, Riot announces October 2024 production and operations updates. Riot produces 505 Bitcoin in October and increases hash rate deployed to 29.4. Castle Rock, Colorado, November 4, 2024. PRN Newswire. Riot Platforms, an industry leader in vertically integrated Bitcoin mining, announces unaudited production and operations updates in October 2024. October of 2024, guys. So here's a little press release real quick. Riot produces 505 Bitcoin in October and increases hash rate to deploy 29.4. Bitcoin produced 505. Last month, September, 412. In October of 2023, 458. And what's something critical that happened from last October to this October, a couple of months ago? What happened to halving? So in spite of the halving, where they get half the credits, it's twice as hard to mine the Bitcoin, essentially. Maybe not twice as hard, but they get half the credits. They still mine more than they did this time last year. So Riot is really clicking on all cylinders. And then look at their HODL. It went from 73.45 to now almost 11,000 Bitcoin. So they're keeping a lot of their Bitcoin, if not all of it right now. So that is really, really good. A 49% increase year over year. So the fundamentals are getting better. This is the asymmetrical opportunity that I'm looking for. I want the numbers to get better. I want the story to get better, the fundamentals to get better, and I want the share price to go down. That creates opportunity in the stock market. Last year, they were selling 12.5 million in Bitcoin. This last couple of months, nothing. Deployed hash rate stayed the same in Rockdale, but Corsicana is coming alive. They went from 8.9 exahash per second to 13, and then they deployed a little bit more in Kentucky as well. They went from 1.3 to 1.4. So you'll see there in October of last year, they were at 11.7, guys, and now they went all the way to 28.2, and now 29.4. Absolutely awesome. Just absolutely awesome. 152% return to the good year over year. Rockdale is clicking on all cylinders now. Corsicana, they're naturally going to get better at Corsicana because they feel like they already did everything wrong in Rockdale. And then Kentucky was a takeover play, so don't really exactly know how all of that works. And then here you even look at their power credits. The power credits are down, and it stands to reason that they're not going to get as many power credits if they have more computers online, right? More miners online. So I feel like I kind of understand that. Not really, to be honest with you. And then here it says all-in power cost. They were at 3.3 cents per kilowatt hour, 3.5, and now they're at 4. So those are steadily climbing. I'm guessing that's not really the best thing that you want to see, but if you have more miners online, I guess maybe they need to figure out how to just become a little bit more efficient there. I'm not sure. Those are questions that I'll ask. This is, again, where I'm getting into the weeds a little bit, but I just don't understand. So I'm not going to pretend to understand, but I'm going to learn. So I'm going to learn how these metrics all work out. I don't know if it has to do with how efficient they're being, or if it's just harder to mine the Bitcoin because of the network difficulty. I'm sure there's a lot of forces at play, kind of like the Greeks, right? It's like the Greeks for the miners. I don't understand them. I'm learning. It's just like the Greeks for the options. It took me probably a full year to really understand how delta and gamma were so sensitive to the price movement of the stock. So all of this shit here, that's essentially the Greeks for the miners. So the story got better. The numbers came in really, really good. So that takes a lot of the pressure off of that trade for me. So it's going to get harder and harder to shake us out of this position, is what I'm saying. In fact, I thought about adding more. I thought about doing another. I know it sounds crazy, but when it was in the 875 range this morning, because you'll see it that it went down there, right over here, 874. I thought about selling another 500 Casa Carrot puts, but at $8, because I was paying like $18 a contract. And I was like, well, that kind of feels like free money. And then that would give me more of a leeway, more of a margin of safety to be able to ride out the outcome on the 850s, because I also have to take into consideration the other part of the trade, and that's the $10 covered calls. So all of these shares are for sale at $10, and there's still some shares that aren't for sale yet because they've got 110,000 shares. So there's some calls that I could be selling right here. In fact, maybe I should bring that money through the door. Shit, just kind of like as another hedge, if you will. So maybe I could do that. I don't know. So 27 contracts. That's something. Bring in another 24 hundo. That wouldn't be the worst thing, right? So there's that. So brought in another whatever it was. Should probably done that one last week. Gotten a little bit more money, right? But nonetheless, it's there now, right? An extra $2,430 to the good coming through the door. So because I feel like these covered calls inevitably are going to get under pressure, I want to milk as much money as we can on these cash secured puts. And I like to keep this trade alive all the way until 1220. So, or sometime in December, so that if I have to roll from like 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 for a pretty hefty debit, even, I'm okay doing it because I feel like I have a big financial cushion that I'm creating if I'm able to manufacture the win on these cash secured puts over here. So that's what's going on with that trade right there. And I want to feature these $1 million cash grabs. And I know this one's only 850,000, but it's in the vicinity. This is going to be on a weekly basis because I want to have one of these expiring just about every week moving forward, because that one's going to help me teach you guys how I manage, all the thoughts, all the feelings, all the emotions, how I just try to like stay steady with the math, etc. And the reason that I was very, very comfortable with this cash secure put on Riot is because I knew that the report for October was going to come out during the time that I was going to be in this trade. So it's going to be like, it was almost like cheating in a sense that I was going to get answers to the test again. So I was like, I think I'm going to be in a situation to where it's going to be pretty easy to manage this trade. Price action is not going to be able to shake me away too quickly because I'm going to have a lot more pertinent information from a fundamental perspective. So to me, fundamentals trump technicals, and a lot of price action short term is very technically driven. Fundamentals long term, it affects price action. That's why I feel like fundamentals trumps technicals at the end of the day for me. So that's what's going on with that one, guys, in a nutshell. Anything else that's noteworthy? Let's see. SoFi. What's going on with SoFi? So we've got SoFi at $11. We've got a bunch of covered calls at $12.50 for the end of the month. I feel pretty good about them. Then we've got covered calls for January of 2026 at 15. And then we've got all the long calls, 7, 5, 10, and 15. Collectively, all of the positions are doing very well. Let's see about these 1250 covered calls. These were under pressure last week. Now they're actually doing okay. If I can get up to like a 50% profit on these things, because I feel like the minute they announce rate cuts and stuff, it's going to get kind of dicey. I may consider just closing these out and letting SoFi run a little bit, maybe to 1150 or so, and then put them on again at preferably like 13 or 1350. So I want to be very, very conservative with these covered calls because I'm already hitting my metric anyway for 25% for the year. So I don't need to take unnecessary gambles, if you will, with the SoFi position because I feel like the loaf is the capital appreciation. So I don't want to get caught nibbling on a bunch of crumbs when I could just wait a little bit and go grab the loaf. So that's what's going on with that one. Hood, we got the cash secured puts at 25, at 24, and we got the cover calls at 26, and we've got 5,000 shares that are unencumbered. Feel pretty good about those. Most likely we'll address those on Friday on the MITS channel. And then at some point I need to sell some more covered calls on Hood. These are already at 85%. We already closed the other ones out that were at 32. So at some point I got to sell 100, maybe even 150 covered calls on Hood because I also bought 50 long calls over here for January of 2027 at $30. So that is really it. Last one is obviously Palantir. Palantir has earnings after the bell. I fully expect it to tank to about $32. I just do because it's priced to absolute perfection. And I feel like there's nothing that Palantir is going to be able to do or say that may cause a sell-off. That is what my experience tells me. But this is where I think that I could be wrong. Kind of hoping to be. There's a lot of new money in Palantir that hasn't held their shares very, very long. So they be like, hey, this is new to us. They just got into the S&P 500. We'll deal with this in 2 or 3 or 4 years because a lot of institutions don't do that type of short-term trading. So I think that as long as retail investors stay strong, diamond hand this thing, maybe maybe the floor is at like 36, 37 with Palantir after these earnings. And the reason that I'm assuming that it's going to go down is because there's been really good earnings thus far. And for the most part, it's been pretty much downward pressure. Maybe a little upward initially, but for the most part, down after earnings. Good earnings, down or sideways, a little bit up, not really. So it's, Tesla was obviously the one that really, really did well after earnings. But so I think that Palantir is, and again, I don't want to scoop up more shares. So if it goes in that $30 range, I'm going to look to scoop up 6,000 shares. And then I'm going to sell cover calls on those shares. And then I'm going to probably try to roll those shares at $12 for a debit and go from like 12 to 20, 12 to 25, go all the way to 2027, because I'll be able to use the premiums from the 6,000 shares that I purchased as well to help me finance that debit. So that's kind of the plan with Palantir in a nutshell. We'll see what happens. This thing is priced to perfection. It's a more expensive stock than Tesla if you look at it, just pound for pound, so to speak. So we'll see what happens. But again, I'm in this thing for the long term, so there's not a lot of price action that's going to really matter for me right now. I want to be in these shares probably till like 2030. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, ebbs and flows along the way. And we're just going to rock with it. If there's an opportunity to buy a substantial dip, I want to do that. So it's just like I had in the chart for the seminar, guys. $30 is my target. If it goes to $25, back up the fucking truck. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way that I feel about Palantir. So anyway, let me catch up with you guys. That's pretty much concludes our portfolio update segment. So we'll call it the 27-minute mark. We'll just do live Q&A and chill out. Tell me what you guys thought about the seminar. Hopefully, now that y'all know that there's another part coming, it was always intended from the beginning. You guys can appreciate that the things that I left out, a lot of them were left out intentionally. Like the wheel tracker was left out intentionally because I want to have Bill White on the stream whenever we talk about the wheel tracker to do it justice and do some examples on the wheel tracker and so on and so forth. It's going to be probably another 3, 4, 5 hours, because you got to understand, like, what's the real mission here. The mission is I want to do these in person, so I got to have about 8 to 10 hours of material so that I can essentially put on Wheelers University for you guys live and in color. I'm targeting next June or July at the Waldorf Astoria in Miami. It's going to be a discounted price for my 25 and above members. Then I'm still working on like the price tags and stuff. I'm not sure. It just depends on how much the ballroom is going to cost and whatnot, and how many seats. Right now I'm targeting 100 seats, so I'd have to like really do a promotion and stuff to see if we can like legitimately get 100 people there, because it's one thing to get 200 or 300 people on the stream. It's another thing to get them to go to Miami, because I probably only have a handful of people from that area on the channel. So we got to see. So there's got to be like plenty of time available to be able to promote the event. The book's got to be done, so everybody's going to get obviously the signed copy of the book and so on and so forth. And I'm working on the format of the seminar. So it's going to be like before lunch, like, up until lunch, pretty much everything that I covered on Saturday to get everybody ready. And then we're going to do like just live example after example after example for that whole Saturday. And then Sunday, it's going to be personalized reviews, portfolio reviews for everybody. So I can like kind of like do a FaceTime, but in person, but it'll be in groups of like 3 to 5, because I can do all of them real quickly, knock it out in about 15 minutes. So that'll take me all day on Sunday, depending on how many people are there. And that's kind of like the format that I'm playing with: catered lunches, both days, and bunch of fruits and all this shit, everything. It'll be fun, because not planning on making a bunch of money off these seminars, guys. A lot of it I'll be giving back to you guys, but it's just for me to get to know the community and stuff like that. And I just think it'll be fun. So anyway, let me catch up with you guys and go from there. We did that one already. We did that one. Hey, what's going on, George? Looking forward to our FaceTime. I think that I saw that you were one of the packages that's for FaceTime, so I can't wait to see you on the Calendly link. What's going on? You've got options. Hack Facts, thanks for your time. You're welcome. I love the seminar. Learned so much. Thank you, Jill. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Midwest. Appreciate you, Marshall. Solid, Brandon. Appreciate you. Bashada, appreciate you guys. Watched the entire seminar live. Wow. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Margin secure put. Y'all like that one? I participated. You sure did, man. I appreciate you, George. I appreciate you. JD, saw it. TJ, the Will Deal, great video Saturday. Hello and welcome. Like, appreciate you. Great seminar on Saturday. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good, guys, because I want to go over all the scenarios, man, all the gimmies and the gotchas. How do you apply the knowledge, right? It's like now you have a little bit of the knowledge. People feel real armed and dangerous. But it's the application of the knowledge. That's where the wealth is. That's where the wealth is. You got to learn how to apply the things that we've learned in life. Dex, what's going on? Hey, TJ, I have family who graduated from university. What? Hook 'em, baby. Presidium. What is it? Civititis. Disciplina. Those are the Latin words that were on the diploma somewhere. I used my diploma to start a fire, so don't even have that anymore. But yeah, established since 1883, guys. 1883, our university was established. This part of Sally was stuck at work right on. Well, it's on the channel, guys. It's on the channel, and it's going to stay live on the channel until I do the entire series. And then after that, it's going private for members only. So put a little urgency for people to watch it, because I feel like the members pay really, really good money. So, and then there's a lot of people at the $3 level. They've been supporting me for going on a year now. So I just feel like that has to be for you guys. Like right now, it's public for everyone because we're trying to get the word out on the channel. But make no mistake about it, those seminars are going to be private for members only eventually. What's going on, Mitch? Onan reports 11, 12, 24 reports in Swiss franc. Swiss franc versus strong Q3 up 15%. CNP, I think they're talking about, is that a on cloud? Is that what that is or no? Great explanation with the trader, right? Appreciate you, Bachata. Appreciate you. Hey, TJ, nicely done with the junkies yesterday. Thank you. You know, those are hard for me. Political discussions are hard for me because nobody's ever convinced me of how much it really affects my life. And I know that it does on a day-to-day basis. I mean, the people that make all the rules, we have to adhere to those rules, right? If not, there's ramifications, there's repercussions, there's implications. But nothing's bigger than my God. You know, at the end of the day, so my faith is in my God. And I feel like everywhere I go, I have the armor of God, the shield of God. So at the end of the day, I just feel like it's going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. All the money, all the riches, all the gold belongs to him anyway. He just borrows it to us, and he asks us to be a good steward of it. You know, we're saved to serve, go spread the word, go do good things. You know, it's just real simple stuff. Love your neighbor the way that you love yourself and love him with all your heart, mind, and soul. That's it. We can just do those two things. It all falls into place, man. But everybody wants that. They have like this God complex, and everybody sees the world a certain way, and they want the other people to see it the way they see it. And I just don't think that that's how God intended it. He gave us free will for a reason, so that we could all be entertained. I watched the seminar and watched it an extra time to take notes. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. You don't have to take notes, guys. You don't have to take notes. Why? The slides are going to be available to all the members. The slides are going to be made available to all the members. So enjoy the show. We got you on the notes. The slideshow will be available for you guys. I'm going to figure out how to put it on a landing page along with the damn wheel tracker and everything. That way it's all there for the members, and we don't have to like, oh, here, no emailing and all that shit. All that's going away. We're going to get more professional on this channel. Well, yeah, not, you know what? It should be advice because that's good. That's a good thought process right there. And y'all can see that I ain't going too crazy with the election. I've already made my bet in Riot, and that's all that I'm monitoring. It's just a crypto play because I'm anticipating a Trump victory, and I think it's going to the moon. I'm going to be in a bind with these cover calls at 10. So I'm like, I need to bring some premium through the door. That was my thought process. But if I'm wrong, I'm going to adjust accordingly. But I was okay putting on the trade because if Kamala wins, I don't think Bitcoin's going to zero, so it doesn't matter anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm just going to manage the trade accordingly. Thoughts on CleanSpark? I got 1,000 cash secured puts at 750. CleanSpark is going to be fine. I think they had an at the money offering, and initially the market responded okay to it. Now not so much, and then I think there's still people a lot of angry because they bought the jet or whatever. But I think CleanSpark's fine. I think CleanSpark's best in class. I got the riot cap on, but right now I'm talking about right now. CleanSpark's probably the better company. I think Riot's coming though. I think Riot's coming. They mean business. And I think Riot will be the biggest one. That's the most successful one, the most profitable one, because I think they have the best infrastructure. So to me, like whenever I was landing on my Bitcoin mining horse, my stock, if you will, it was like, well, let me really, really take a look at their management. What have they done in the hard times? Because everybody shines in the good times, but what have they done in the hard times to position themselves to flourish during the good times? And that's when I fell in love with the Riot story and what they were trying to accomplish. Is they were willing to play ball in the rain, so to speak. You know, they were like, hey, we're going to go make hay when the sun shines, but we need to go prepare the fields, even though it's raining and it sucks. And everybody's like, hey, hunker down. Right? It's like, no. We know that there's sunny days ahead. So we need to make sure that all our infrastructure is in place so that we can really crush it in the next bull run. And I think that that's kind of what they're positioning themselves to do. And it's not even so much for this cycle. I think it's for the next one. And then now you throw the whole HPC thing. I think that Riot is positioned to where maybe they could do half Bitcoin mining, half HPC AI. They have a lot of flexibility again because of what I feel is their biggest moat in the entire industry, the entire sector, which is their infrastructure. So we'll see. But CleanSpark, I think you're fine. I think you're fine. I'm not worried about my cash secure puts at 750 at all for January. I struggle with the tractor. Would Mini Wheeler Alex be interested in doing FaceTime helping me set it up? That's a Bill White thing. That is a Bill White thing. And we can definitely we probably have to all pitch in and give him a little bit of money, man, because he spends a lot of time with us and he's done a lot of work on that tracker, zero compensation. So we can make it work as well. I'm sure we can get that done. If I can get 5 or 10 of y'all together on one stream with him, he'd probably do that for us. But there's only so many things you can ask people to do for free. You know what I mean? So think about it. Appreciate you guys. TJ, any plans for entering to a new stock like ARM, CMC, CMG, IV is high? Maybe after January, because right now I do got a new stock. I do have a new stock. Just don't own it yet. We've got several new stocks here recently, guys. So good question, but I feel like I'm already on it a little bit. Right here. CrowdStrike's kind of new. Open Door is a swing trade, but it's been there for a while. NVIDIA's kind of new. Fubo's new. Archer's new. Joby's new. And then there's also cash secured puts sold on Boeing recently. So I feel like I got enough new right now. I got enough new. Got a big cash secured put on Boeing. It's like the whole Intel thing. The thing's getting its butt kicked. I want to be a part of it. So this is $300,000 right here. Tied up 300 grand to pick up 5450 and 6900. So that is a position that I'm learning about, doing like 5-10 minutes a day. Nothing crazy, but 5 to 10 minutes a day. And tonight I'm listening to 2 earnings reports. So because part of my due diligence from the very beginning is go through the last 4 earnings reports, because they're going to tell a story. They're going to give you a bunch of numbers, tell you a story, what they did, what they're going to do. And I'm just going to start seeing where the disconnects are, because obviously there's disconnect. They're getting their asses kicked. So we already know the results of the test, but I want to see what questions that they get wrong, because they had to be asked a lot of questions along the way. And then I'm actually going to rewatch the testimony from the CEO whenever Congress was grilling him as well, and just to kind of really start formulating a 3 to 5 year investment thesis. Because right now the reason I'm interested in is because of the price. At 130, 135, I'm really, 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 really interested. But here they got my attention because the first couple of questions that I ask myself is, why do I want to be in this stock? Because I like the sector. I like the sector. They get a lot of government money, and it's a duopoly, right? As far as the actual planes go, them and Airbus. That's the only games in town for the most part. So that's why I want to be in the stock, because I know they're not going to go out of business, but is it going to be a flourishing business? That's to be determined. I'm not sure. And then the other question that I ask myself is, can I manufacture the win right here? I feel like I'm not sure if I can at 150. I can at 130, 135 for sure. Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a doubt, I feel like I can manufacture the win at those levels. So I'm like, well, what if I can successfully sell cash and cure puts over here 3 or 4 or 5 times? Then it's kind of like artificially I created that entry point of 130, 135 bucks. And I'm like, well, let's take ownership of some shares at 150, sell cover calls, continue to strangle it by selling cash secured puts. And now we're in business, because I'm very interested in being in this company. This was the number one company I was swing trading during COVID. So to answer your question, I feel like I've already done that. I've already gotten you tickers that that we're monitoring. Again, look at this volatility, guys. Look at this volatility. It's just insane. Keeping it going with the questions. Tesla cover call 240 for Friday, November the 8th. Right on. What's Tesla at? Let me look. Let me look. Tesla 240. Okay. Okay. I mean, let's look at your intrinsic, extrinsic. For this Friday, 240. Where you at, baby? Here you go. Okay, so we've got about $7 of intrinsic, $6 of intrinsic, $4 of extrinsic. You're collecting how much in theta? $1 a day in theta. It's a 59, it's a 50-50, a little bit worse than a 50-50. I'd look to roll. I'd probably look to roll here pretty soon in the next couple of days. And I'd probably be looking to kick it down the road a month or maybe towards the end of the month. So you got to make good on 1030. So I wouldn't do it today. I would get, because again, especially if Kamala wins, this thing is probably going to tank to like 220. So you got to keep that in mind as well. But I'd probably be looking like right over here. So you could satisfy the 1030. And I'd probably put a handle of 245 on it, or maybe even 250 if premium is not important to you and you just want to be qualified for capital appreciation. But again, this is another advanced technique on covered call rolling, little glimpse of what's coming to you on the seminar. Why do people get so enamored with being qualified for more capital appreciation when you have absolutely zero intention to sell? Let me ask the question again. Why do people get so enamored with being qualified for capital appreciation if you have zero intention to sell right here, right now? That's why I don't fix the strike price on every roll. I would rather do a Band-Aid trade that's going to bring cash flow through the door, because I always want to have money so that I could buy the dip. Because if I'm not willing to sell the rip, well, hell, I should at least position myself to always be able to buy the dip without just having to inject money into the portfolio. So that's why you see the strike prices that you see, because they're not really for sale anyway. It doesn't matter if I'm qualified for all the capital appreciation right here, right now, because I know that I'm just going to roll. More importantly than my strike price was, how much premium did I bring through the door? Because I need to grow my investment cash, my individual cash, my brokerage cash, because if there's a serious dip in the market, I need to have as much money available as possible to buy the fucking dip. That is why I sell covered calls the way that I do when I'm legit long the stock. Yeah, it'd be cool because you don't want to have the stress, right? So yeah, it'd be cool to have that 250, 255 strike price. But if that isn't improving your situation to be able to buy the dip, then it's and again, you're not going to sell the rip anyway. You know what I mean? Now, if you're like, oh, I'm going to sell, like I'll sell it at 250 or I'll sell it at 255. The hell with the premiums. I'm ready to get out of this thing. Then you'd play it a little bit different. So again, you got to look, where am I at? 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250, 255. 250, 255, 250 with this particular ticker right here, right now? Like, where am I really at? And be honest with yourself. And then the moves should match what you're trying to do. Everybody sees your positions. That's checkers. You're managing your positions. That's chess. You know what I mean? But you got to manage them on the front end. You got to have the plan together on the front end, kind of the way that I have with Riot. Hopefully it helps you out a little bit. Keeping it going. Buy Innovix calls. I just don't have enough conviction there. It would have to, that should have happened whenever it was like in that $5-6 range. And I don't know enough about it, So it's like, again, I'm one of those that I don't have to be a part of everything. I don't have to be a part of everything. It's too exhausting. What are your thoughts on year tax harvesting sell-off? Is it going to happen? It's hard to say, man. It is hard to say. I think that Santa Claus is coming to town. October is typically one of those months, like November. Those are typically bad months in the market, right? So, and then sometime later, November, December, that's when the Santa Claus rally happens. It's so hard to say. There's so much uncertainty in the world right now. It's hard to say. It's very strategic until they take our freedoms, then we must speak up. Yeah, those are the facts. Those are the facts. I've never had they're never going to come for our guns, guys. So I live in Texas. Nobody coming for our guns over here. So I feel like there's just some conversations, maybe in certain parts of the country, it makes sense to engage in those conversations. But I don't like talking about things that we know for sure aren't going to happen. However people feel about abortion, it's on them, right? It's between them and God. Me personally, I feel like you're killing an unborn child. Kind of shame on you unless it's for like health reasons and other things, like you were unfortunately raped or something like that. I understand there's always extenuating circumstances, but if you're talking about just killing an unborn baby for inconvenience, in my mind, it's just shame on you. But I've done shameful things too, right? So it's like I'm not in a position to judge you. We all have to deal with whatever we did at the end of the day. So I don't have that God complex anymore, because it also, the Bible that I read says I can't be judging, right? Because I'm judging while I'm being judged too, and all those things, right? So I stay away from that stuff. I don't have the answers, man. You do you. You know what I'm saying? You do you. Just stay within the confines of the law. And I thought that Roe v. Wade worked for a long time, but somehow they got it overturned, and now I guess it's up to the states. I don't know, man. It's just, the shit's all confusing. It's all confusing. What's going on, Marshall? Fear thy neighbor, right? Hey, good fences make great neighbors. I have Palantir 4350 puts for 11.15, 39 break even. Think I'll be good after earnings? Honestly, no. I think you're gonna have to roll. I think you're going to have to roll. I just think that this perfection, unless they come with the minimum of 30% Geiger and some serious forward guidance, I don't know. Been wrong though a lot on Palantir, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, maybe a pound of salt. I think that it needs a little bit of a pullback. I just think it will be healthy for the company too. I think it'll be healthy for not the company, the stock. Nobody wants to get, yeah, man. It's just, and nobody ever wins anyway. Like, I don't think that I've ever had a conversation with somebody and I was like, oh, I'm no longer going to believe everything that I thought. I'm going to believe what they thought, So it's like, it's just, everybody's always talking in circles. What's up, my dude? Collect that premium word. Cash care put Palantir, 30, 35 bucks. Golden. Absolutely golden. One of my favorite moves that you inspired is to take a concentrated position, use level 5 options, and use the buying power to sell cash secured puts, use those premiums to buy stock, sell spangles, and cover calls, and repeat. Right on. Right on. We live, baby. What's going on, Kenny Lee? Appreciate you. I miss your thoughts on Fubo. Fubo. Got a little position on Fubo. Nothing crazy. This is just a straight up DJ and gamble play. But it's a calculated gamble, guys. It's gambling season. It's football season. And these guys are some of the best in town for sports fanatics. Like their streaming business is catered to sports fanatics. I think they were in the middle of a big lawsuit. Not exactly sure. I haven't done all the fundamentals on it. It's not a big enough position where I will do the fundamentals. Just to be honest with you, they just recently had earnings. From what I understand, the earnings were actually pretty good. So I'm not going to go back for earnings reports on these because the position is not big enough for me to do so. But I am going to listen to that earnings report here pretty soon. I like my situation here. I got 100 or I got 25,000 shares at 143, so about break even on the shares, down a penny or so. And then I've got all the shares for sale at 150. So I'm just trying to make 7 cents in profit. Have the shares called away, but I also collected $4,000 in premium for doing so. And then previously I had sold cash puts at 150 for January. I closed those out for 3,600. So collected 4,800, closed them out for 3,600. So I already realized the $1,200 gain right there. And then I've got the 4,000 that nobody can take away unless I relinquish it. So there's that. And then I've got the 1,750 in capital appreciation that also qualified for. So it could be a pretty profitable situation. I thought about doubling down because it was up to like 160. I think it was up to like 170, maybe even 180 here very recently. I have to look at the chart. Let me look at it real quickly. It was up like last week, it was up quite a bit. And then now it's just come tumbling down. I don't know any other news. Again, I'm not that familiar with the fundamentals. But if you look at this guy here for the last week, or let's just go a month so it'll be easier to see. Yeah, right over here. Look at that, 186. And then it's come tumbling down ever since. When in doubt, zoom out. It seems like it's been, Gavin, it seems like it's been consolidating. It's been consolidating all year. And then at the beginning of the year, come on, buddy. Come on. We'll go out in a second. We'll go out in a second. We'll go out in a second. Um, so it was up at like $3. Do I think that it can make it back to these levels? Probably, as long as some things happen fundamentally. But again, I don't know exactly what's going on here. It says Fubo TV shares fall after North American revenue views fall short of expectations. Market might still lack some conviction on Fubo TV. This is October 31st, even after 27% share price boost. It's hard to say. I mean, these things are very risky. They could go either way. They could go either way. So this is just a swing trade for me. Not sure it'll ever become anything more than that. They missed free cash flow by $1 million and almost flipping to profits. You see, that's the other thing. They're about to be gap profitable here, I think, within the next 3 to 6 months. So again, this is where it's real hard to make very big decisions when you're uninformed. So, and then I don't have enough money on the table or on the line to really be that excited about it, so it's kind of tough. So I'm kind of playing it small. Whenever you don't have all the information, play it small. If it gets like $1, then I'll really get excited, most likely, because then I'm like, shit, there's a lot more money to be made. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Sorry, I meant put credit spread Palantir 30-35. Any thoughts? You'll probably be fine. FTNT, no, unless that's like Fortinet. Sound, I've done some stuff with Sound on my SoundHound, right? On my wife's account early on when I was doing that whole doubling my wife's account situation. But I haven't been in that one in a while. If Tesla wins, Trump wins, that's very possible. Very possible. I think we were talking about Google, Fubo. Yes, it's pretty awesome. Morning, great episode on Saturday. Hope the newer viewers checked it out. Great info. Appreciate you guys. We're over 3,000 views on that thing. So, guys, we got the green light. We've got the green light to do another one. My wife's like, hey, if you can get 3,000, because 3,000 is something that hadn't been achieved on the live. So, let me see if I can pull up the metrics on it right here. One sec. We're up
and
to
avoid blowing up your brokerage account
3,133
ever again,
views.
you can copy and paste our trade alert in 5 minutes per
3,133
day that
views. So we're
uses the
good. So we
MIT
hit it.
Blackjacks team
3,000 views.
statistical approach,
So wife
a
said we
system
could
where you
definitely
only need
do
to win
part two.
16% of your trades.
So there's that. So there's that. Keeping it going, keeping it going. Your cash grippers don't have downside protection. Is that intentional? Yes, because I'm long the stock. Most cash grip puts that I have on right now, I'm already long the stock without the exception of Boeing. I don't own any of those shares. So it's like whenever you own shares, they could go to zero too, right? Well, cash secured put can also. So I only sell cash secured puts, big cash secured puts. I'll dabble on shit that I don't know, kind of like FUBO. I don't know. I've already showed y'all 30, 35, $40,000 gamble. But like serious money, like to me, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of homework. So at that point, I've already got a pretty awesome investment thesis. I've already got the part where I'm willing to invest 25% of the total position allocation. If it dips more, conviction so high, the other 25%. If it really dips, and let's go in with the 50% and call it good. TJ Austin seminar on Saturday. I have watched it 3 times so far. Wow. I will watch it a few more times. Thanks again. Very, very helpful. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome, baby. How do you feel about Tesla with either candidate? I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. I think obviously it seems like Trump and Elon are a little bit chummy with each other. So I would say uh, probably better for Tesla if Trump wins. But I don't think that Tesla's going to forget how to make money if Kamala wins. But could it be a little harder because of whatever situations that she could do politically or otherwise on Tesla? Maybe, but she also has other fish to fry. So again, it's like I think that things are bigger in your head than they actually are. It's kind of like what my pastor in San Antonio would say. Like 90% of the things that you worry about in life, they don't actually ever materialize. They don't actually happen. So we'll see what happens. Read, I don't know how Netflix. I don't know. I don't know. Or Amazon Prime. I mean, there's other. Because Amazon Prime's got to deal with them, right? So that could be another case. Well, the Paramount one. There's others. Warren Buffett was like real big in Paramount. Definitely would be good stock for Palantir to pull back. Yeah, I think 20%. Losses are coming down every quarter. Yeah, agreed. Huge overreaction. Yeah, overreaction. Unless people stop using it tomorrow, right? Selling puts on PL, not ST. No, I'd be more interested in health next week. Um, talking shop. Thoughts on buying the iron today? No, I mean the only minor plays that I have are the clean spark cash secure puts, and then I've got a heavy position to right. Why are you pick? Why are you picking up money losing stocks for wheeling like Archer, Joby, etc. Because they're cheap? No, I'm very interested in the space. These are very small starter positions for me, and I'm very, very interested in the story. But if I saw enough cash secure puts and covered calls, before you know it, I'll have like a dollar cost basis. So I think I took the win already. I'm very close to it. And then when these companies turn into quote unquote real companies because now they would actually have earnings because you got to keep in mind where are these companies at? These are pre-earnings companies, right? So they go through the whole FAA and all that stuff. Then they would become serious positions because again, I'm interested in the space. I think that people can make a lot of money investing in things that you're interested in if you feel like even if it's early with the company, as long as you feel like there is a legitimate path to profitability. I don't know any of that stuff yet, but I do know that Toyota's got a sizable investment. I mean, the airlines got sizable investments. U.S. Armed Forces are like, hey, we want some of those things. So people seem to be interested. People with bigger money, companies with bigger money, seem to be interested in what they got going on. And the FDA has made it seem like there is a space to exist. So we'll see. Again, it's early. It's all totally speculative right now. When it's they put your last dollar into helps you out. Appreciate you guys. Right now, like I already got of them. And I think that maybe you're not looking at the portfolio closely. If you look at the portfolio, so not profitable, Amazon. They figured it out. Recently, they figured it out. Yeah, you can argue the balance between these speculative, but just the cost base is under $2. Whatever. Balance makes money, maybe not a lot of money. There, you can argue that they're expensive, all of those things, but they've got a good price on balance sheet. PayPal is solid. Tesla's pretty solid. Intel, they've been losing money for a little while now, but I think they're figuring it out. And then this is a Bitcoin play. They make money. The SOO is obviously linked to Tesla, as far as the ETF goes, and then CrowdStrike makes money open. And then this is where the speculative stuff is, aside from NVIDIA. So I don't think it's as speculative as you think. I mean, do you not think Amazon and Tesla are going to make it? That's 35, 40% of the portfolio right there. I think SoFi is just going to be printing money for the next couple of years, and considering we have a pretty low, not just cost basis, but adjusted cost basis. I mean, show me how you think. So, you look at the entire portfolio in the context, in the proper context. Where are we at here? And I don't like it. I don't like. I invest on Google. It was great. I just don't like everything on Google. I just don't like anything that Google's for. I love that they on the YouTube thing where they're talking right. But I just click it. I just don't stand in line about. Now we started reeling, man. When I first started, I think I only had like $5,000. Putting money in, put money over, and it was good. Confused when I hear people say they use premiums for cash credit puts away stocks when their buying power drops whenever I sell cash credit. So it's all based on whenever the cash secure put expires, right? Because it's about realized gain. So yeah, you can sell a cash secure put and that premium you pay, it's $1,000 or whatever, you could legitimately use that money to buy stock. Depending on how healthy your account is altogether, like we're using margin, whatever the case may be. It's not that dry, it's not that. Anyone is interested in snow, cash grab premiums, 1% cash for the end of the month, 90, everyone right on. Remains as a long position is extension because of their AI consultation with a target of 370. Do you agree? Not familiar at all. Said they'll be one of the companies that actually make AI. Could be, not sure, but we're talking about the same paper gains. The gentleman on X, he knows his way around the market. I think just similar snow counts, easy stuff like cheat codes on these big pullback days. Thanks for that. Here's that you did on right. If the buying power goes down, but you collect the premiums, that's fine. I hear you though, unless you have a big bankroll. Maybe it's me or is it my volume going up and down a lot. I'm not sure. Let me move the volume. Let me move it over here a little bit. Increase the gains. Is that a little bit better? Let me know. Appreciate it. Yes, he's breaking up a bit. Thank you. Let me know if it got a little bit better. I'll try to. I got it up a little closer, and I'm playing with this little knob here. Not really sure if it does anything or not. And then there's other buttons in the back that don't mess with. My friends ask for good videos, or they feel it's too lengthy to standardize it as less than an hour. We'll see, man. We'll see. Not for everybody. Like one real good videos on wheeling. There's Brad Finn. There's Money. There's the SMB company. Invest with Henry has really, really good videos on wheeling. There's even a newer people. Invest with Ashley or Trading with Ashley, which is called. Uh, Corey, a real skinny dude. He does really good videos too. He's more to YouTube. Then there's that guy Matt, Market Moves or something like that. Matt Giannino, real skinny Italian dude. He has a lot of really good videos as well. Thoughts on an option buy calls on these TC miners expiring in December 2024. That's way too risky. Way too risky. I'm not really sure what's going on with the microphone. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see if there's anything there. I'm not sure what all this stuff is in the back. Not sure. Not sure. Do you ever think of doing a series where you teach your son how to trade options and we'll follow along? He would have to want to. He would have to want to, but I would love to do that. Maybe like whenever I give. Let me see if there's a. One second. Let me go to settings. Let's go to audio. Let's see. On the now it's on the actual microphone. Give me a thumbs up if that's a little bit better. I think I might have. I think I clicked on something else. We'll see what happens. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me a little bit better. If not, I'll have to sort this out later. Okay, yeah, the microphone was turned off. The microphone was turned off. It was just the computer from the iMac or the audio from the iMac. Sorry about that. Where are we at here? Yes, that would be awesome. My son's got a full-time job, and again, he'd have to be interested. He'd have to be interested. I think that it would be a hit. Kind of like whenever I'm ready to give him the portfolio or whatever, maybe make him go through like maybe anywhere 4 to 10 episodes to where I feel like he's comfortable with the keys to the car, and he's not going to wrap it around the tree. That'd be really cool. Really, really cool. Who do you think the figures are out there among the famous traders? I really don't know, like who's faking it or who isn't. uh, I don't know. I mean, there's only a few channels that. I mean, first of all, I don't watch that much YouTube anymore. Uh, I watch Mitt's channel regularly because he's like my CNBC. I watch some Cash Flow Chronicles. I know that Chris and Matt are legit. Uh, Everything Money. I maybe I catch a video once a month or every other month. I mean, Paul, I know he comes from money, but he seems to really know the way around the market. So I feel like he's pretty legit. Uh, who else? Early on, I used to watch Stock Mo. I don't know anymore. There was another gentleman, Uncle Larry. I used to watch him early on. Don't watch him anymore. I just don't have time for it because I'm managing, the fund and stuff. So I got other shit to do. Like Brad Finn, I've watched maybe 10 of his videos. Seems like he knows what he's doing. He's a lot more conservative than I am, but he's also got full-time income and stuff, so he doesn't have to do it the way that I do. So I feel like he's pretty legit, with what he does. I don't know the Ashley lady. I've seen one or two videos that she puts out. It seems like she regurgitates the same shit too, so I feel like she's probably the investor Corey. I saw one video that he did on Neo. I feel like he uh, seems to know it. Seems to know it. I don't know how much money they've actually made from the market or anything like that. I mean, I can question all of those things. Their best stock strategy, super legit. Then there's obviously the people that came from this channel, like Dallas Matthew, Garcia. They know what they're doing. The snowball. So Hugo knows what he's doing. So yeah, I don't know that that there's anyone there that I feel like is an absolute faker. Sometimes I have my reservations about Felix, the one with the dog, Winston, but he makes really enjoyable videos. So there's that. I've gotten value from that. So yeah, I don't think that YouTube really has a lot of those people. And then from the macros, I used to like financial education, Jeremy. I liked his take on the macros a lot. And I like shows that public portfolio. My holding crypto and seems to be okay. Is it easier to truly will stocks when you're not emotionally invested, TJ? It's for me, it's just I'm emotionally invested in the portfolio. You know, my favorite ticker is portfolio. So like $1 million, my goal is to make 50,000. That's the only metric that I can control. That's where all my focus. And the rest of the shit over 3 to 5 years, I was fortunate enough to buy some stocks at pretty good prices. And they go up, fantastic. I'm winning with everybody else. But what I'm getting, that they're not getting is all the premium, right? And then I also got tax implications as well. And rather than investing, I feel like I've seen that channel once or twice. I'm sure it was okay. What do you use to keep up with the FA and tech web platform stuff? So there's TradingView, and then I like looking at the charts on like stock analysis, alpha spreads. Okay, I prefer stock analysis for that. And then here recently, since I've landed on my stocks already, so it's very redundant. Like stuff like the cause correct premium, like recovery strangle. I don't have to use that much technical analysis because I'm just trying to lower the logistic cost basis to zero. But depending on where you're at, you you're playing the game from a different angle. Oh, I assume we're talking about unrivaled investment. He's like a young guy, right? I feel like I've seen him. Uh, yeah, it could be. There was another the younger black dude. What's his name? Ken? Is there a guy named Ken? Negan, something like that. There was another dude that another Chris Sane. I watched like 5 to 10 of his videos early on. You know, he made it sound like he was worth a lot of money, but he would never really show it on YouTube. It's like there's only so many things I can show you on YouTube. They made me look a little sketchy of him from that aspect. I'm like, why? I show my shit and I ain't worried about it. So it was just one of those things. Gave me a little bit of cause to pause, but it seems like he was okay. I mean, I enjoyed the videos early on. Did you decide to sell calls on Palantir? I've had them on forever. Got my 35 and 45 for January of 26. Those relationship he's right. He is right to value. Obviously, I always had good info, but it took long to get it. Yeah, and a rival investing. They're going to ask the founder to be a part of some regen crypto projects with some shaky dealings. Oof. Right on. August after something up and down. Sorry about that. I'll try to figure that out after we did buy this microphone on Amazon for like $100. It's what you pay for it. One of those cool Joe Rogan ones, the one that's short or whatever. Cutting down again the other mic. Maybe okay, so we get to audio. Yeah, it's going back to it's going back to let me go to the what it is. Stable. How do I disable the other? There we go. I don't know how to disable the other one though. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Anyways, Jay didn't get caught up on COVID, and I know I said Yeah, I'm not sure who we're talking about. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened. Money Invest. I like Money Invest too. Cody or whatever his name is. Um, are you using Mac or Windows? I can help you disable the other mic. Yeah, I have an iMac. So I don't know. I have to figure that out later, guys. But my dog really needs to go outside, so I got to cut this one out early today. We already been here for an hour and 15 minutes, though. So anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the seminar on Saturday. Part 2 is coming at you probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. More likely, probably 3 weeks, and then we'll go from there. We'll go from there. So anyway, this is TJ the Will Jill signing off. As always, may your skies stay blue, stocks free, and peace out. God bless you guys.